Hey, what's up? I'm Sebastien.
And I'm Chuck from the band Simple Plan, and our brand new record, Taking One for the Team, just came out and it's awesome.
And you're watching
And listening
Linea Rock.
Hi Chuck, how's Sebastien of Simple Plan? Welcome to Milan and welcome to Linea Rock.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Alright, so it's 16 years of Simple Plan already. 5 albums, 2 live albums, 1 EP. That makes an average of 1 record every 3 years, mostly.
Yes.
3.5 years. Not saying that you're lazy, but since you also made a participation to a movie, if I'm not wrong, but I wanted to ask you if it's, you've done, just 5 records in 16 years is not very much. Is that a matter that you're damn selective or self-critical? Or it's just that, you like to take your time and you dig live on the road and being on tour? What's that?
It's a few things, actually, that makes it that we take a long time to make albums, or in between albums, rather. We've been very lucky to have a lot of success in a few places around the world, like Italy, but like Australia as well, South America. So just when we put out an album, just touring almost takes us 2 years.
We tour a lot. We play a lot of shows.
Yeah. And we are kind of perfectionists as well. I would have to say, when we sit down to finally write for the album, we do take our time. We write a lot of songs to make sure we get really the best that we can do. And we like to try different things to make sure we find the album that we really want to make.
Yeah, I think we come from a time where albums really matter, and they're not just an excuse to go out and play more shows. They're like a statement. They define who the band is, and to us, we're still really attached to the album format. We think it's important, and when we put out something, we want our fans to love it, not just be like, oh, okay, one more record, I still love this band. We want to feel like this could be their favorite record of all their career. And for us, we push ourselves and we write for a long time and we spend time in the studio. And it's not like, I wish sometimes that we could make records faster, but for us, we have to truly feel like they're the best work we could do at the time. And for us it takes a little bit of time, and that's part of the career, and the fans understand that. They've been really patient with us, and they're still here. We have a sold out show tonight in Milan. We come back and play the Alcatraz all the time, and it's always full, and it's amazing. So it just goes to show that the fans understand, and they're always here for us.
Yeah, it's afternoon now, and they've been out online
I know.
Since this morning.
Since this morning, I saw them.
It's amazing.
So new album, Taking One for the Team, comes after 5 years, as you already mentioned. And was it planned some way to work on it so long, and releasing also some singles, during the making of it, in between, or it simply happened like that?
It kind of happened like that, I think we always had the idea that it's fun now to just launch songs before the album comes out. That was kind of always the plan, but we would have liked it to come out earlier, but we just, as we were recording it, we just didn't feel it was ready, so that's why we kept working on it.
Yeah, we actually went back in the studio last November. We had the whole record done, and we just felt it was missing a lot of the classic Simple Plan sound, like the kind of more throwback, old school, I guess pop punk, if you want to call it that, fast up-tempo, catchy song. We felt some of that was missing. There was some of the energy that was missing on the album, so we went back and actually recorded 3 more songs, which to me I'm so grateful we did, because it really changed the whole record. And we love playing those 3 new songs live. They're like Nostalgic, Farewell, and Opinion Overload. Those 3 songs changed the whole record, so in a way I'm so grateful it happened. And I think that as far as the way that the whole record unfolded and having some songs come out before, I think that every band and every artist out there is trying to figure out how you release a record in 2016, Things have changed. It's not like when we started, where you had the sort of one main single, and that's where you kind of went with, and then the record came out, and then you had a second. It's just changed. Now there's no rules. Everybody can try different things, and for us, we wanted to experiment with different ways of doing it, and it's kind of like, it wasn't really planned. It's sort of, when it felt right, we released something, and I think that overall it was cool to try different things as, you know, to try to see what the fans react to. And it's cool now because you get feedback right away with Twitter and Instagram. Like when you release something, you know right away what people think. So
Yeah.
in a way it kind of helped us know what kind of record we had to make, you know, because of the fans' reaction.
Was this the longest process in the making of an album in your career?
I think some maybe that and the first record. The
Okay.
first record was long.
The first record was long because
But nobody knew about it.
yeah, exactly.
It was secret.
Nobody's waiting for the first album, so that's okay. But
You had
yeah.
time. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
The fastest was the second record.
Yeah,
That was really fast. And the third album was pretty long too.
pretty long. Yeah.
I mean,
We started
honestly,
taking our time from the third album, basically.
They were all pretty.
Yeah.
They were all pretty long.
Because on the cover of the record, let's show this just a second, okay? It seems on the photo that you're celebrating a triumph.
Being
Yeah.
done with the record.
Being
yes.
done with the album's finally coming out. You know.
Yeah, I mean, the whole concept was making like a parallel between being on the sports team, you know, football or
Yeah.
hockey or whatever, and being in a band, you know, and in a way it's very similar. Like you know you have to sacrifice for the sake of the band, and you have to always be there for your teammate and your band member, you know, and I think you're better when you're actually real friends. When you care about each other, you become a better band, you become a better team.
Sure.
And yeah, the whole thing, like, we wanted to have like a triumphant kind of photo on the cover because, hey, we've been here for 16 years and we're still playing shows and we're still doing great. And you know, if you ask people in 2002, like, hey, do you think it's going to happen for Simple Plan? Most people would have said, no way. And you know, it's kind of us kind of celebrating the fact that, hey, against all odds, we're still here and we're still doing awesome and we still love what we do and we're very blessed and lucky, you know.
On Twitter, you described the new record as pure, no frills, feel-good fun, a start-to-finish crowd pleaser for fans of that classic pop sound, pop rock and pop punk sound.
Yeah.
Actually, a great presentation for a big responsibility. And are you having already some feedbacks? Are you playing songs in the set during this tour? And which is the reaction?
Yeah, I mean, we started playing new songs basically as soon as the album came out, or even a little before. We started playing a couple of new songs, and the reaction has been great. You know, we've been very, very overwhelmed by how positive the fans are towards this album, and it's great to come back on tour like right now in Italy and just to play the classic songs from Simple Plan from the previous album and to play the new songs and get the same type of reaction. You know,
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's been really, honestly, a little bit, I wouldn't say surprising because you always hope that people are going to really love the record, but I didn't expect it to be across the board, like 100%. Everybody is feeling it and loving the album. Like, every day I wake up and people are like, hey, I just checked out the new record for the first time. It's so amazing. I'm so happy you guys are still putting out music that I love. And it's like really so positive.
Yeah.
And that's, and to be honest, there's a few songs that we kind of released before where it wasn't 100% positive. And when fans are finally hearing the whole record,
Yeah.
they understand what we're trying to do, and they're like totally behind it and totally stoked. So it's great, and playing the songs live has been like really, really cool. And like Seb was saying, it's cool that when you play a new song, people love it just as much as when you play like a old Simple Plan classic or a hit, you know. So that's been really, really fun.
You also never changed your lineup, which is pretty rare, especially among young bands. What's the secret of your strong union?
Yeah, people have been talking about that a lot. I guess that's something to be really proud of nowadays, to be still the same 5 members. I guess whenever we have an issue, we just talk about it and solve it, you know? Like, no matter what could be, there's nothing that could be going on between 2 guys that would be more important than what could be happening with the band, you know? So we always put the band first, you know, and the music and the fans and everything about the band is more important than anything else. So we'll just, if we have issues, we'll just solve them and then move on.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that we all know each other for a long time. You know, like even before the band started,
All right.
we were, you know, friends, and we grew up with the same sort of values and like mentality, and I think that makes a huge difference. I think that as long as you're able to not let the band's success or whatever like build your ego, and you always realize that the band is more important, that's the key, you know. And I think that for us, because we never had maybe like a gigantic smash all around the world. It was always like a very gradual success. I think that made a big difference too, because we always feel like the underdogs. We always feel like it's the five of us against the world, you know, and I think that keeps you very tight.
You always seem very happy and positive, and your music sends this message as well. Living a happy life, because you seem, you know, very proud of what you do and very happy of what you do, helps to come up with some great hooks like you do.
I don't know if it helps. I think some of the, you know, I think when you go through tough times, that's when you come up with the hooks that are more gearing towards this way. Like for instance, a song like "Your Love Is a Lie," you know, that comes from a kind of a breakup, you know. So that's very important. And then a song like "Can't Keep My Hands Off You" comes from a happier time. I guess it depends how you feel, and that's how you're gonna write the songs.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like our records, no matter what theme that we talked about, we always try to keep it very uplifting and positive, and that's kind of been a trademark of the band. I think that we realized really fast and that fans use our music as a way for them to deal with their trouble and, you know, feel better about themselves and about their lives. And I think that we embrace that, and we want to give them songs that will lift their spirits and will make them feel better. So I think that obviously when we feel like that, it makes it easier to write songs like that. But at the same time, like sometimes I wish we had more drama in the band. We would have more inspiration. Sometimes it's like, oh man, like things are going pretty good. I'm happy, you know. But
what am I going to talk about? You know.
But I think that no matter what, you know, the inspiration can come from a band's career, from the tough time that we faced as a band. Even if you're happy as a person in a career or whatever, like there's always moments where it's not as easy as you wish it was, and I think you can draw on that, and you can write songs about that, and you can apply that to people's lives, and you know. So I think we try our best, also just to be influenced by what the fans tell us, what the people around us, life in general. You know, I think there's so many ways you can be inspired. So.
Well, songs like "Ordinary Life" or "The Rest of Us," this song "Save My Life" or "Save You," those are songs that have, you know, deliver messages. Maybe, you know, with the pop sound, but they go deep.
Right.
So
that's always been what the band.
You make them dance while thinking.
Yeah, there you go.
That's kind of been our trademark ever since we came out with "I'm Just a Kid," which was, you know, a really, really poppy song, but underneath there was, you know, it talked about
the message of loneliness,
like,
and
real things, you know. And I think that that's always been sort of our thing, even when we started, like sad lyrics, but at the same time really, really happy music, you know. And I think it works well. Yeah.
And has the song "P.S. I Hate You" something to do with the Beatles? Maybe an inspiration or something like that?
A little bit. I mean, yeah, like they have this great song called "P.S. I Love You," and I saw it. And I was like, you know what? That's inverted. That's kind of how I came up with the idea.
All right.
I was like, let's, you know, do a twist on it. And I thought it was very iconic, you know, because I never heard that before in a song. I mean, "P.S. I Hate You," that was cool.
Yeah. Okay. And how did the tribute to Baywatch came along for "I Don't Want to Go to Bed" video, and how did you catch up with David Hasselhoff?
I guess we like to have fun, you know. I think we like to goof around and we don't take ourselves too seriously, and it's very, I think videos like that one, sort of spoofing something, is very iconic of the scene where we come from, you know, like 2000 pop punk and all that, and it was actually Chuck's idea.
Yeah, we just thought the song was very different for us, you know, it was a lot more pop. And we wanted to do a video that would still show that, okay, we don't take ourselves too seriously, and we're still, you know, the same five guys that like to have fun and like to goof around. So, you know, we came up with that concept, and then once we had the idea, it was like, okay, well, if we're gonna do Baywatch, we need David Hasselhoff in it. So we didn't know him, obviously. So we called him up, we called his management, and he loved the song, loved the idea, and he was super into the idea of doing it, and you know, and being with us in the video, and he did a great job. I think it's really funny, and I think it really adds to the video, adds a nice little surprise to, you know, to it.
Yeah. And about working with Bob Rock in the studio for your second album, long time ago, still not getting any. He's one of the most famous and most respected producers in rock and roll. Basically, everything he touched, you know, turned to platinum. It's a dream, you know, for any band to end up working with somebody like him. Was that actually one of the best experiences in your career? And which were the pros and cons of working, you know, with such a huge producer?
Yes, it was one of the best experiences. We've had quite a few good experiences in the studio. We've worked with some pretty amazing people. I think the great thing about Bob for us is that he really brought the energy that we have live to the album, which is something not that we had never done shows when we put out the first album, but definitely not as many as we had when we did the second album. So we really brought that onto the album, you know.
It was a really fun record to make.
Yeah.
I mean, I look back with a lot of fun memories of that time. It was, we had a blast making this record, and it sounds the way that we wanted the record to sound. And it's funny, like a lot of people think it's very hard to work with Bob Rock. It's very demanding, but for us,
we saw the movie with Metallica.
Maybe he's demanding with them, but with us it was a lot of fun.
Our experience has been quite the opposite, to be honest. I think that, and we kept asking him like, hey, I thought you were gonna make a lot more changes and blah blah blah, and he's like, man, like if the songs are there, I don't need to change something just for the sake of changing something. If it's great, and we roll. So I guess it was a nice compliment for us that we brought songs that felt to him like they were complete and that they didn't need to be reworked and rearranged and reinvented. So that was really cool for us as songwriters. It gave us a lot of confidence, and the record that I still look back and I still love that album. I think a lot of fans do as well.
You've been one of the last bands to build a long and strong career and send millions of albums before the talent show mania and before Spotify and all that stuff. Do you think that the modern approach is the enemy, this modern approach in the music business, or it remains mainly a matter of having real talent that help to make it?
Well, it can't really be the enemy because it feels like it's there to stay. So if it's the enemy, then you're kind of screwed. Because you don't really have a choice,
It's interesting. I think we got very lucky. Like we came in at a time where music was still, maybe like the music industry was still in great shape, and we caught like the tail end of that, which was interesting. I think it gave us a lot of perspective because we went through so many different changes in our career. Like when we came out, it was still CDs, and then iTunes came out and changed everything, and then now it's streaming. Spotify, Apple Music and all that. It's interesting to live through all these things, but I think as a band you have to adapt. You can't just be like, oh my god, the good old days were so much better. And I think that the funny thing is that even though the music industry maybe is going through tough times right now, music itself has never been more present, has never been more
important, actually.
Important and consumed by people. People love. There's so many bands. People still love songs. It's really central to their life, I think, more than ever. So I think that knowing that, I think there's a great future for music, and I think that it's never going to go away. It's always going to be there, and then we just have to figure out as a band, how do we approach it? How do we deal with that, with the changes? And I think for us, like, it's been playing live, and it's been focusing on quality, because even though there's tons of music and it's tons out there, like, I think people still appreciate when you release something that they can tell is honest and real, and they can tell that a lot of care and effort was put into it, and hopefully when they hear our records, they feel that, and it makes them want to come to the shows, and makes them want to to be fans.
Be a fan,
So
Very last thing, or they're gonna kill me.
Yes.
Who's the Scooby-Doo fan in the band, and you're gonna come back to Italy in May. We just heard about the dates. Will be the 16th of May in Torino and 17th in Rome. So you're gonna be back. So
third time in Rome, I think.
Third time in Rome, and like we're coming. Third time within a year. Like we were just in Italy a couple of months ago, and now we're back now, and then we're coming back.
We love playing here, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Amazing. It's been really supportive. So
it's great.
We love playing.
And the shows are amazing.
And as far as
Scooby-Doo, I was a fan when I was a kid.
I think we're all fans. Yeah. We all grew up with it, and I think for us it was really cool to do that. To be a part of it. It was really dope.
Was that a great experience?
Oh, for sure.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, like it's funny. Like people still talk about it today because it still airs. It's still our version of the song. So you get all these new kids that never heard of Simple Plan maybe, and they hear the song like, oh, who's that band? And I can't wait to show it to my kids.
Yeah,
because we were cartoon characters in it. So
yes.
We're all dressed with the trench coats, and
it'd be pretty cool to show my son like, hey, that's Daddy, that's his voice,
Okay. So thank you very much, guys, and
see you
in May.
See you in May.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Grazie, ciao.